Hello, 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 my beautiful Tauruses. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hump day to everybody. How you feeling? How you doing? I love you guys. Listen, we are in the Lions Gate portal. This is a time between August the 1st and August the 12th to really put in your manifestations, okay? Really call it in, baby, because this is 888. Now, whatever message that's getting ready to come out for you, Taurus, when you put in the comment 888, that activates what the very thing that you want. That means you claiming whatever this message is going to be for things to change in your life, okay? So, Spirit guys, give me clarity. Understanding this for Taurus. What is it that Taurus needs to know? I love you guys. Let's see what you need to know. That fell right out. Boom. Okay. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. It has something to do with your coins. You are going to achieve, and your money is in progress. That means that whatever goals you have when it comes down to your money, whatever goals that you have set up for yourself, trust fund, whatever, savings, you're going to achieve this. Even if you're investing in crypto currencies or whatever, I feel like you're about to get a big something in progress, something like a big whatever you invest. Ooh, that came out fast. You're going to have patience about this, okay? Now, when it comes down to your goals, what Spirit Guides God is saying is change your attitude. That's what it says. Slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. Okay, some of you, when it comes down to your money, setting goals for yourself, you must first clear your mind and slow down and change how you think. How you think of what it is that you're trying to do, okay? Whatever your goals is, it has a lot to do with money. You have been through a lot, and let go of emotional upheaval and embrace the renewal of this present. So you've been through a lot. Some of you been through a lot with your money, with your finances. Oh, excuse me, y'all. It's over in the night when I'm recording this. Some of you have been through the fire, just period, in your life. And some of you are setting goals for yourself. I don't know what your goals is. Everybody has, everybody's on different timelines. Everybody has different goals that they have set for themselves. Whatever it is money. So whatever it is that you're trying to manifest to set better goals for yourself financially, or something that you're trying to reach, or something that you're trying to accomplish, Spirit wants you to slow down and change the way that you're thinking, change your attitude, okay? And you may get better results, okay, when it comes down to setting goals or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. But you've been through the fire. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. And I feel as though that you're getting a renewal of the very thing that you've been through. In other words, Spirit Guide says you're coming out of this fire. Okay, and it was a hard fire. It was hard. It was a hard lesson to learn for yourself. Yeah, you've been through a lot of thorns. You've been through it. You weathered it though. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in new opportunities. Now, even though I've been through the fire and I've been through the storm. I've been broken. Confirmation into pieces, seeing lightning flash from above, but through it all, you remember that he loves you and he cares. And now you're coming out as the star, baby. Hard times are over, sweetheart, sir. Whoever you are, look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. You've been through the fire, you've been through the storm, but you've been broken into pieces, seeing lightning flash up above, but through it all, you remember that he loves you and he cares. And now, Spirit Guides is telling you that his hard times are over. So I don't know who needed to hear this today, okay? I don't know who needed to hear this, but Spirit God said hard times are over. It's wrapping up. That's what Spirit is telling me. Hard times is wrapping up, okay? Okay, you made it through, okay? It was not easy, okay? But you made it through, and it's over, okay? Purpose. And I feel like because now you know your purpose. I wake up each morning serving my life's purpose and thinking of creative ways that I could take inspired actions towards my heart's desire. And I feel like you finally you finally know what your purpose is, okay? Yeah, looking at the silver lining about things. I find the silver lining in all situations, circumstances, and events within my life. When you look at your life and look at all the hell that you've been through and look at the thorns and the fire that you've been through, it makes you look at the silver. It makes you take a second look at your life, don't it? And you find the silver lining through it all. You find the silver lining of why you went through what you went through. And it was to get you to the purpose, to get you to where you see yourself, to find your purpose, to find, to set higher goals for yourself, to do things, to have a plan for your life, okay? And now you see the silver lining of why you went through what you went through. And remember, everybody has been through something different than the next person, right? But you look at what all this caused, all this upheaval. Why did all this happen in my life? Okay, and looking at now that you have overcome it, okay, whether it's relationships, your money situation, or family or friend, whatever, everybody's different. Now you have healed yourself from that. Now you know the purpose. Now you see the silver lining in through it all is that, sometimes we have to look at our situation and say, yeah, now you see the clarity. And sometimes we have to look at our situation, look at why we went through what we went through. And now you know why. And as you begin to walk this path of self-discovering, discovering yourself, learning about yourself, setting higher goals for yourself and living in those, and, taking steps towards your goals. And it says, as I began walking my path of self-discovery, I find clarity in each step taken and new truths are discovered. It's all about finding the silver lining. Even though we went through the storm, we went through the fire, even though we may have been broken into pieces and saw lightning flash before us, but through it all, we remember that he still loves us and we care. Even at one point in time, if you felt like God left you behind, God didn't love you, God don't want you to have this. No, it was never that. It was all about you looking at the silver lining, and Spirit God sees something in you that you didn't see in yourself. And that's why Spirit God wanted you to set higher goals for yourself, knowing what your purpose and your desire is. And not only that, to change your perspective, change your attitude on life, and don't take life for granted. So a lot of you had to set a lot of goals for yourself, okay, and achieving these personal goals, however that may be within each own individual. But I feel as though all of this definitely, Taurus, made you stronger. Because you gain clarity about everything as you sit back and you reflect as you heal. You reflect upon your life as you heal, and you sit back and you gain clarity of why did I go through so much hell? Why was so much hell placed upon me? Why did this happen to me? Why? And then you realize that a lot of times it's not good to ask why, does it? Because the more you ask why, the more that the universe brings more whys to you, right? But you realize that it was only to make you stronger. It's only to pull you up out of that, to see, really, we don't know how much strength we got until we're pushed. And it also woke you up to see your purpose in life. To see your purpose. What's your reason for being here? Why are you here? What are your goals? And to also sometimes, Spirit guides God, get us out of that area of our life of being complacent into doing the same thing. Sometimes you have to shake our life up. Sometimes things have to be shaken. Sometimes we got to get us out of that stagnation or out of that convenience or comfort zone. But you get it now. It all makes sense. It all makes sense that what Spirit Guides God was doing was getting you to respond to your life and set higher goals for yourself. And for some of you, you really didn't have that confidence and faith in yourself to really lean into your purpose. You didn't have the confidence at one point in time in your life to lean into your purpose, to set higher goals for yourself, to know that you're strong and you can do it, to know that you are that person that can do it. Do you not know people right now, 60 years old, 70 years old, don't even know what their purpose, why they was here? When you wake up every morning serving your life purpose, you're living. When you have no purpose, you have no direction. And when you have no direction, there is stagnation. And where there is stagnation, there is no life. You are just existing. And there is more to life than just existing. And Spirit Guides God know that you have the potential, and He knows that you have more in you and that you can do it. That's why a lot of times we are pushed and don't know how strong we are until we're pushed into something. Yeah. And for some of you, all your life or half of your life or some part of your life, you have been manipulated into thinking that you didn't have to have goals or have a purpose for your life, or you have been manipulated. You have had people in your life, whether it's family or friends or whatever, that has manipulated you and tried to stop you, change your perspective on what it is that you should do. The advice that you have been taking from others was the manipulation that was veering you off from your purpose. Your purpose. And I feel as though when a person don't have purpose, they don't want you to find your purpose. It depends on who you're around, who you surround yourself by. They can't tell you, they can't be your support to tell you what your purpose is, because they don't even know their own direction. And I feel like you were dealing with a lot of manipulating people that if they knew that you had an inkling of what your purpose was, what your gift was, what your heart's desire, what the goals that you set, if they knew that you figured it out, they ain't going to tell you, because they knew you was going to figure it out. And for some of you, you held yourself back, okay, from achieving your goals. So some of y'all are a decade behind because you shared your goals with the wrong people. You shared your goals and your purpose and the things that you wanted to do. You shared them with the wrong energy. And some of you are actually a decade behind, because you shared it with people that could not understand their own life, their purpose. And when you share your goals with other people, especially people that are of low vibration, what special people that don't have the eyesight for themselves, when you share your goals and your inspiration, your aspirations with other people, they are going to evil eye it. For some of you was in relationships and marriages that you had goals and you wanted to set out goals for yourself, and you wanted your support from your husband or your wife, and you gave the plans, but they never believed in you because they, what you doing that for? Or why you need to do that? That's because they didn't have goals set for you. So you were actually dealing with somebody, whether it's family, friend, sister, brother, husband, wife, whatever. You shared your goals with the wrong person. So the more you shared your goals with your ideals and everything, you notice that everything that you tried to start, it failed. Everything you tried to do, it collapsed. Everything that you wanted to accomplish, it never happened. Everything that you wanted, it did not go through. That's because the very people that you was telling, or the very people you was telling your ideals, they put a roadblock up. They blocked your path. They preyed on your downfall, that you wouldn't prosper. That's why Spirit Guides God say, do not share your goals and your inspirations. You have to be very mindful of who you share your goals and inspirations with. Because the very one that you share those goals with are going to be the one that's going to evil eye you. That part right there. So some of you were in the energy of people that manipulated you and was act like they really was happy for you and act like they really, oh really, that's your goals, you set that goal, that's good, and the whole time they just turn their back and they prey on your downfall. And I feel like now you have gained clarity after going through the storm. It's like, Miss Positive Thoughts and Energy, I just could not get it. Every time I would share or tell somebody about what my goals was, what my desire was, what it was that I wanted out of my life. And it's like every time I would tell, it's like, it's just like I just start going through hell. You know? It's like the thing that I say is like I just keep getting knocked backwards. 1, 2, 3 back. 1, 2, 3 back. You know, and that's because you were telling your goals and your inspiration, your aspirations to the wrong family members, to the wrong friends, to the wrong lover, to the wrong husband, to the wrong wife. You was sharing your goals and they was actually not supportive. But they're watching you though. You can believe that. They're watching you. Some of you get it now. But it took you going through the storm, through the fire, to realize that the goals that you set for yourself, the purpose, that you wake up each day knowing your purpose, knowing that what it is that you want to do, that you know and you are very vigilant of who you share them goals with. Tell me more, Spirit. Yep. Because you realize that people was in it for their own selfish needs. You realize that these people actually turned their back on you. Actually was even down to your ideas and the things that you had, they took and they turned their back and used it for themselves. See that man on the horse that's backwards? Every ideal of goals that you shared with your homeboy, your homegirl, your husband, your wife, your family, your friends, so-called friend, they took your ideas and used them for themselves, or they turned their back on you. They never had any true intentions because they was only in it for their own selfish needs. And here they're watching your every move. So whoever this is can try to take your ideas and they want to take and grasp. But I feel like you learned, I better move in silence. You learned clarity that the people that was did not have their best interest. You learned clarity. You found out that they were in fact backstabbers. Yeah, and you sit and you wonder, why ain't my manifestation working, or why ain't my ideas, the things that I want, my goals, what's going on? Why you see how you sitting there looking like, why ain't nothing coming to fruition? Why of everything my goals seem like when I start one thing, it's like it collapse. This is why, Taurus. This is why, ma'am, sir. Yeah. Everything that you said, they grabbed it and they took it for themselves. Everything you said, they took and they turned their back and they actually preyed on your downfall. That's why your prayer, your manifestation didn't come through, because you told it and you gave too much information out about what it was that you wanted to do for your life. And then judgment hit. You had an awakening that these are backstabbers. These are people that you gave ideas or you told your goals and aspirations, and they really was not on board with you. And so you had to go in hermit mode. You may have Virgo in your chart. You had to go in hermit mode. And you had to go back to the drawing board, and you had to gain wisdom and an insight on how to move or what to say when it comes down to your goals and your aspirations. You had an epiphany. You had to do some soul searching and realize that the very people that was in your life, look what they were doing. Yeah. They were drinking out of your cup and claiming it. My God. They were drinking out of your cup and claiming it. Yep, this is for somebody today. They were drinking out of your cup and claiming it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? But you healed from that. You did a lot of healing. You woke up. You gained wisdom. You started keeping your mouth shut about your ideas and your wisdom. You gained the strength. And now, look at here. You're taking a new leap of faith, taking a risk, doing something else, going towards real people, real like-minded people. Only sharing your cup and your ideas with people that you know that are like-minded like you. Yeah. And now, ever since then, look at your bag. Now look at your bag. Now look at your bag. Now look at you. You're prospering now because you were telling wrong people. But you can bet they're watching to see what you got going on next. But the thing about it, they don't know what you got going on next. They don't know what's happening until it's done. And now y'all are stable. Your money is good. You're stable because you got tired of putting up with BS people that act like they had their best interests with you. Okay? And the whole time they were lying and hiding and deceptive because they were stealing your ideas or they was not really supportive of you. Yeah. Could have been a marriage that now you are divorced. Yeah. Yep, you learn to shut your mouth because sometimes when we talk too much, okay, yeah, it end up hurting us. Not literally like physically somebody hitting you. When you talk too much, it hurts you because you tell your goals and aspirations to the wrong people. And that's why this happened. Yeah. That's why sometimes we can run our mouth too much. And people will prey on put up roadblocks, pray against us. Husbands, wives too. They don't want you to go into your purpose or having things. They'll start praying. Or they'll start, throwing the evil eye. What you doing that for? What you going back to school for? What you doing this, that? Now look at you. You in your 10 of Pentacles. Now you're in your 10 of Pentacles. You know what? Judgment call is on them very people. Because they got to watch you be in your 10 of Pentacles now. They got to watch you be in your 10 of Pentacles and got to watch you celebrate. Because you left them all behind. You walked away and left all them fake people behind. And now you out here sufficient, 9 of Pentacles, got your own achievement, successful, out here doing it, and they're angry about it because you stopped telling your business. You stopped telling and sharing your goals and aspirations. We'd be surprised. The very ones, I'm positive thoughts of energy in my readings. There are lessons, blessings, and confirmations. You just have to be vigilant, open-minded, and listen to the message. A lot of times when we have so much, that we want to accomplish in life and we have goals and aspirations and a purpose that we really want to do things. And when you really think that people have their best interests, when you really think your husband, your wife, or your family, your sisters and cousins and whoever, your family, your so-called best friend, and you thought that those would be the one that really has your biggest support. You would think they were the one that had your back, right? Wrong. A lot of times when a person don't have their own purpose in life and they see that you are driven and you want to achieve things in your life, they will try some way of holding you back. And that's why you went through the fire. That's why you went through hell. Because the very man or woman that you were with, they tried to hold you back from your destiny and your heart's desire. So therefore, they caused so much friction in your life that you forgot about your purpose and your goals. Okay? They caused so much hell in your life that was their plan because they didn't want you to outgrow him or her because that means that you will leave him or her behind. So therefore, if they cause hell and throw you off of your game, which you did not know that then, but you know that now, they were literally like, Oh, well, you'll do it. Even when you say, well, I'm ready to write a book and I'm ready to do this and that. What you writing a book for? Oh, you know how much it's going to cost? You got to do all that. You got to go get them lights. You got to do. Anybody that try to down talk you when you're trying to accomplish something and they want you to put them first and don't want to support. And then a lot of times when you are done supported somebody, your husband, your wife, your family, and it's your time to be supported, guess what happened? They ain't got the energy. Well, I was there. I helped you. Some of y'all help your partner, your husband, your wife, to go to school. And then now you put your life on hold. And now that they done made it and graduate from school, now you need support. And now you ready to accomplish your goals and your purpose. And they like, nah. But I put my life on hold so that you can accomplish yours. And what about me now? You're not going to support me? You're not going to help me? Yeah, it's a lesson to be learned. It's a lesson to be learned. Yeah, it's sad, but you can be in a relationship or marriage and they're jealous and envious of your knowledge and what it is that you want out of life because because that person is not driven themselves. And so therefore, if they're not driven, they don't want you to go anywhere. But you snapped out of it real fast because you made it through the fire, through the storm, even when you was broken down. Okay? You pulled up out of it. You healed yourself. You went in hermit mode. And now you are successful. Now you're in your 10 of Pentacles. You're celebrating. You're successful. You went from the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. You're creating generational wealth. You're doing good for your children. You're in that energy of so much prosperity and abundance because you realize that at some point in time in your life you were talking too much and that people were setting up blocks that you could not get through, but you learned, and we live and we learn, don't we? Now you're stable, and you're around people. You're around people that have true, real intentions versus people that turned their back on you. See them two cards? See the difference between them two cards? See that? We live and we learn, don't we? Until next time, Taurus.